Hey guys, I'm Lauren Trishelle and welcome to my channel. I am so happy you guys are here today. I have a super fun video lined up, so I'm pretty psyched about it. Today we are diving in to the Glamlite Cosmetics Team Jacob and Team Edward palettes. Oh my gosh. Guys, I have been wanting these palettes for a while. And now I finally have them, so that's very exciting. So today is a first impressions video. We're gonna do two palettes, two looks. First is Team Jacob, second is Team Edward, okay? It's gonna be so much fun. So I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so we are now going to be working with the Glamlite Cosmetics Team Jacob palette. This is their collab with the Twilight franchise. Super excited. This palette is gorgeous. It's gorgeous. It has such gorgeous shimmer shades, but I also like that it has a pop of that like teal, like aqua color. Very gorgeous. I am usually not a huge fan of neutral palettes because I like colorful makeup. I like very visible makeup, but this one just caught my eye and I couldn't say no. I simply could not say no. So let's go ahead and get into the look, and I'm going to zoom in for you guys. Hi. My eyebrows always look crazy when I do these, but that's because I do my eyebrows after my eyeshadow, so I wait to put my brow product in, but then they always just look all willy-nilly. I think this is helping. I just brushed them a little bit so they don't look as crazy, okay? Because I feel like whenever I'm editing, I'm like, oh my gosh, my eyebrows are insane, and it's so distracting for me when I'm editing. So I need to do something about that. Anyways, let's get into the look. Okay, but this palette is absolutely gorgeous. Like, oh my goodness. The shimmers are so pretty. I love the color story. I really do. And like I was saying, I'm not huge on neutral palettes, but this one absolutely zapped me in. I couldn't refuse. The more I stare at it, I'm like, it's so pretty. Okay, so sadly, I won't be able to dip into every single shade today. I wish I could, but I just simply won't have time for that. I am going to take a fluffy brush. I'm going to dip into that shade Phasing, and I'm going to swoop it like right along the brow bone just to give myself a background shade, as I like to call them. Oh no, I have a brush bristle. It's stuck. I definitely need new brushes, you guys. A lot of my brushes are old. That's pretty. I like how subtle this shade Phasing is. It's very pretty. It's kind of like a grayish lavender, but very subtle, very light. Pretty. Okay. Now I'm going to take a smaller brush. I'm going to dip into that shade Moonlight, which is like a gray matte shade. And I am going to swoop that below the shade Phasing. And I just kind of want it to apply it kind of in the crease line, because I want it to act as a transition shade. Now I'm just doing some blending work. I took my fluffy brush, I dipped back into Phasing, and I'm just kind of blending those two shades together. I really like how the shade Moonlight turned out. It's very pretty and it applies very smoothly. Now I'm also gonna take the brush I was using for Moonlight, and I'm gonna dip it back into Moonlight and just bring that shade down to the lower lash line, just to help balance out this eyeshadow look. Beautiful. I really like how those two shades applied, Phasing and Moonlight. They're very pretty. They're both matte shades and they applied very smoothly, very evenly. I didn't have any problems with them in application, so that's great, because matte shades can be kind of tricky sometimes, but so far this does seem like a really good matte formula, so that's good. Now I'm going to take a clean fluffy brush. This one is kind of like a flatter fluffy brush, and I am going to dip into that shade Loyal, which is that really beautiful matte, like turquoise, kind of like an aqua color. It's very pretty. It's a green blue, very pretty shade. I'm going to dip into that, and I'm going to apply it on the lid. Wow, that is gorgeous. That's so pretty. This shade is gorgeous, and it's so pigmented, so smooth, so even. It's very pretty, and I like that it's dark. Sometimes with dark matte shades, when you apply them on the lid, they just end up looking black. This one stays true to how it looks in the pan. So I obviously really appreciate that. Okay, I am loving that. Now what I'm going to do, I am going to take a flat packing brush. I am going to dip into that shade Telepathy, which is so beautiful. Ooh, this one is super creamy. So I got it on my brush. Ooh, that's so pretty. Ooh, that's gorgeous. This shade is gorgeous. I mean, I knew it was going to be, just how it looks in the pan. I knew this one was going to be like a showstopper, and it is. It's so pretty. There's so much reflect in it. It's so sparkly and bright. It also applies so easily. Okay, and I think the last thing I'm going to do is I am going to take my fingertip. I'm going to dip into that shade Shapeshifter, and I'm just gonna get some on my fingertip and then just like dot it right in the inner corner. Beautiful. I'm gonna dot it on the brow bone, just kind of sweep it up here. Oh, that's so pretty. This one is so pretty. It reminds me of a fairy. It's so like ethereal, beautiful. Okay, and then I think I'm gonna take a dab of that and just go right here in the center, if it will let me. Sometimes shimmer shades don't like to layer on top of each other, so we'll just see if I can do it. I don't know if anything happened. I don't think anything happened, but that's okay. It looks pretty regardless. That is going to be the eye look for this palette. I am going to apply the rest of my makeup off camera real quick just to save time, and I will be right back. Okay, so this is how my Team Jacob look turned out. I love it. I'm very impressed with this palette so far. All of the shades I tried today performed amazingly. I have absolutely no complaints, no critiques. Everything is great. We used 5 different shades today out of the 15 pan palette, so 1/3 of the palette. All of those 5 shades performed phenomenally. All of them are fantastic, and all of them performed exactly the way that I needed them to. So I'm very pleased with this palette. This has been a great first impressions, so I'm definitely happy with this outcome. I think this is actually one of the best first impressions that I've had so far. Like, everything went great. It was actually the easiest first impressions that I've done in a while. So I'm very pleased with this palette. Okay, so let's talk a bit about this palette now. I think this palette is adorable. I love the holographic cover. It shifts from an image of Jacob in his wolf form to Jacob in his human form. I think that's such a cool detail. Glamlite is seriously so cool. You can tell there's just so much attention to detail in this palette. Like, just the holographic cover, so cool, okay? Because by having that holographic cover, they're emphasizing the shapeshifter aspect of a werewolf. And I think that's so cool. Like, that really shows attention to detail, that shows creativity. I think it's super cool. Such an awesome detail from Glamlite. Look at that cool, okay. Look at that cool holographic shift. Is that not just like the coolest thing? I am like geeking out over this. I think that's just the coolest thing. What? But yeah, so that is the Glamlite Cosmetics Team Jacob palette. I am absolutely a fan. This is 2 thumbs up from me, 2 thumbs up. I'm actually so sad that this palette is no longer available. I'm happy that I was able to snag one. I saw the Twilight collaboration on Glamlite's website. I want to say like a month ago, or like maybe almost 2 months ago now. Like, I actually was not aware of this collab, but I had been out of the makeup scene for a few years, and then I was seeing advertisements for it, and I was like, I have to get that. I waited a few weeks so that I could actually think about it and make a responsible decision, and I decided that purchasing it was the responsible decision because I waited for it to go on sale. And you guys know how I am about a sale, especially a makeup sale. Come on, I'm buying it. Then I got the Team Jacob palette, the Team Edward palette, and the Garfield palette because all three of them were on sale. So absolutely I snagged those up. When I was looking on Glamlite's website yesterday or the day before, I saw that the Twilight collaboration is just no longer available. So I think it's done. And I was sad, you know, I was sad because I just got this one. I was hoping more people would have a chance to order it. But no, it's gone. So that's kind of sad. Anyways, this palette is awesome. Next is the Team Edward palette. So let's get into it. Okay guys, I am back to film the Team Edward palette first impressions. I'm super excited about this one because personally I am Team Edward, okay? I do like Jacob as well, I do, but I've always been Team Edward and I always will be Team Edward. Growing up watching the movies, I did not like Jacob. I seriously just was not a fan of him. Like Jacob did not like that guy. In college, I decided to actually read the books, and reading the books actually made Jacob's character grow on me because he's, in my opinion, the character of Jacob is actually much different in the books, and I enjoyed his character more in the books than I did in the movies. But I still like movie adaptation as well, okay? Anyways, we are doing the Team Edward palette. Look how beautiful this box is. I am seriously obsessed, guys. Like, Glamlite does great with their packaging. This isn't even the palette. This is literally just the box that the palette comes in. And I am obviously keeping this box because look at that. When you open the box, this is what you see on the inside, and there is a quote in the inside cover that says, "No measure of time with you will be long enough, but let's start with forever." And that is obviously a quote from Edward. Love it. Okay, and then the actual palette, it's the same thing as the Team Jacob palette. We have this holographic. Stop, I literally love that. I love the holographic feature. I think that's so cool. I think it's so cool how it just shifts. Like, when I was a kid in elementary school, like the holographic stuff, it was like huge at the time. Like I remember I had bookmarks that had like some holographic feature on them. My school planner, like the cover on my school planner had like the holographic stuff on it. And I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. Like I would just sit there and play with it and just shift it back and forth because I loved how the image changed. I thought that was so cool. So I really like that Glamlite added that feature on their palettes because this is so accurate to the time period and it makes me feel like I'm a kid again, and I love that. And this palette is gorgeous, just like the Team Jacob palette was. This one is so pretty. I love this color story. So this is definitely a cool tone 15 pan palette. It's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. We have a lot of grays, blacks, silvers. There are some pops of purple, which I love because I'm a purple girly. Purple is my absolute favorite color. So I love that there's like one column of purple. I'm all for that. And then we have a pop of red, which I also really like because I also like red. Red is a pretty color too, you know? So there are also 3 different stamps in this palette. I like the stamped eyeshadows. I think they're a lot of fun. We have a crescent moon, which appears on 4 different shades. We have, it looks like an arrangement of stars, which also appears on 4 different shades. And then we have a profile of Edward, which appears on, it looks like 3 different shades. So I guess the big difference about the stamps is in the Team Jacob palette, there actually was a stamp that said Team Jacob, but the Team Edward palette does not have that. So that's a difference. Okay, so I guess let's go ahead and dip into this palette. Okay, I have no idea which shades I want to play with because all of them are looking so pretty. Part of me really wants to play with these purples because I love purple. I think I'm going to do kind of the same eyeshadow style that I did for the Team Jacob palette, but just obviously a different color palette. So I am first going to dip into the shade Lion. I'm going to go in with just a regular fluffy brush. I'm going to dip into Lion and then I'm going to swoop it below my brow bone, just so that it can act as like a background shade. You guys know I'm always talking about these background shade things, you know. This shade Lion is super, super pretty. It's like a very pale pastel lilac shade. It's very, very pretty. It can function as a background shade, but it honestly, you could wear it just over your entire lid. This shadow is so pretty, it definitely could be worn by itself. I do that a lot, to be honest, especially if I'm short on time and I'm just trying to get ready and get out of the door. I will just wear one eyeshadow and I will just, you know, blend it out over my lid. Okay, beautiful. That Lion shade is stunning. I love it. I love it. Next, I am going to dip into the shade Mind Reader. I'm tapping off the excess pigment from my brush because I am just going to use that same fluffy brush. I'm going to dip into Mind Reader and then I'm going to swoop it below the shade Lion and blend those two out. This shade Mind Reader is so pigmented. It's so pretty. It's like this beautiful dark purple shadow. I love it. It's truly gorgeous. Okay, I love that. I love how that turned out. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Those two shades are fantastic. They performed so smoothly, so perfectly. Like I seriously had no issues with both of those. I think that I kind of want to switch things up. Instead of continuing on like the purple path that I'm on so far, I kind of want to dip into these reds. I'm really curious about these reds. Yes, so I am going to dip into these reds now. So I'm just taking a clean, it's like an in-between a packing and a fluffy brush, but this one is clean. I'm going to dip into that shade Volturi and I'm just going to like pack it onto the lid. Beautiful so far. Wow, that shadow is so pretty so far. It's such a beautiful color and it performs so well. This shade of Volturi would be beautiful to have just that shade all over the lid and like blend it out. It would look gorgeous just by itself. Okay, after putting that on, I'm currently feeling like one of the Volturi, so that's fun. I love that shadow. That applied so amazingly, so beautifully. I'm so impressed. Wow. I'm glad that I decided to go into a purple to red route instead of just sticking with purple, because originally I was just going to stick with purple and I'm glad I decided to try out these reds. I'm very pleased with this. Okay, and next I am going to keep up with this red theme. I am going to take a flat packing brush. I'm going to dip into the shade Edward, which I love. I love that this is the Team Edward palette and there's an Edward shadow. I love when they do that. But I'm going to, dip into the shade Edward and I am just going to pop this right on my lid, kind of on top of where I applied Volturi. Beautiful. That's really giving it some much needed like oomph. You know, beautiful. I love that. Now I am going to dip my fingertip into the shade Diamond. I'm just going to get a little bit on my fingertip and then I'm just going to pop it into my inner corner and along my brow bone like I've been doing. Oh, wow. Wow, that one certainly has a lot of shine. I feel like a disco ball right now. Okay, I love that. So I think this is it for the eyeshadow. I am going to apply the rest of my makeup off camera real quick. Then I will come back to show you guys the final look and share with you my final thoughts on this palette. I'm super excited, but be right back. Okay, I'm back. Hey guys. So this is how the Team Edward palette first impressions look turned out. I'm really pleased with it, to be honest. I love the purples, the reds. I love that I decided to go with a pop of red instead of like straight purple. Originally, I was intending to follow just like a straight purple route, so I'm glad that I went with a pop of red. I love it. It performed beautifully. It was such a great palette. Great quality, high pigmentation, nice creamy shimmer shades, but with like beautiful smooth matte shades, which is honestly all I'm ever looking for. So I'm very pleased with this palette so far. This has been a great first impressions. This one and the Team Jacob palette, both great first impressions. They performed so wonderfully. I think this palette is so cool. I think that Glamlite really put a lot of time and effort and energy into these palettes, and that really shows through. Sometimes we see these big collaborations between a big franchise and a big like mainstream makeup company, and those mainstream makeup companies don't always do a good job on those collaborations. So I think that's why I really love these indie brand collabs, because they just bring so much creativity to the table, and I know fans really appreciate that. I myself, as a fan, really appreciate that. I think Glamlite did so amazing with this color story. Like, this really looks super vampy to me, and I know that you can create so many vampy looks with this. But anyways, this palette was absolutely a success. It is 2 thumbs up from me so far. I love this Team Edward palette. It's so cute. Look how fun that is. Oh my gosh. Well, I had a lot of fun filming this. I hope you guys liked it as well. Thank you for watching my Team Edward segment. Okay, so what did y'all think about today's first impressions looks? Did you have a preference? The Team Jacob palette or the Team Edward palette? I was equally impressed by both of these palettes. I went into it thinking that I was going to like the Team Edward palette more, because I think I'm more favorable of the Team Edward color story, but honestly, the Team Jacob palette impressed me so much that honestly, they're equal at the moment. They're both fantastic palettes, and I can tell that Glamlite put a lot of time, thought, money, and energy into these palettes, which is very much appreciated as a Twilight lover myself. And the packaging is amazing. Like, come on, come on. And these are just the boxes that the palettes come in. Like, this isn't even the actual palette packaging, and it's already this good. Like, I am never throwing these boxes away. They are staying with me. But I loved it. I had so much fun. Would you like to see more of these palettes? Like, I can definitely film another video using these palettes, and I think that would be a lot of fun. But yeah, that is everything. That is today's video. So if you liked today's video, make sure to give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment below, subscribe, ring the bell, do all the things, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. I have just had so much fun filming this video, and I'm thankful that I was able to do this. Just thank you. Thank you guys so much for the support that you show me. It really does mean a lot to me. So, well, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.